All right, welcome back to Willow Studios. And today, this just happened. The 8 seed North Carolina defeated the 1 seed Baylor Bears in March Madness. And you could see after one half, it was 42 to 29 North Carolina. And then Baylor scored 51 points to North Carolina's 38. And then it went to overtime, where North Carolina ended up winning by 7. And crazy, it kind of messed up a lot of people's brackets, but that's March Madness for you. That is actually really similar to another playoff run. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Their final game was against the Rams, where they lost 30 to 27. Now look at the box score. It was at one point 27 to 3, and I'm sure you know this, before they stormed back in the third quarter, much like the 28 to 3 game, and they ended up tying the game, and then Matthew Stafford made an epic toss to Cooper Kupp, and they got the game-winning field goal. This did not need overtime. The Baylor game did need overtime. So, yeah. There are actually many similarities between these two playoff runs. First off, they both got to the second round of 64, round of 32. And then if you look at the Buccaneers games, they got to the wild card and they got to the divisional round. So both of those were the second rounds of the tournaments. Next thing, they were both really high seeds. Baylor was a number 1 seed, and Norfolk State, they beat the 16 seed, Norfolk State, 85 to 49. And in the NFC, the Buccaneers were a 2 seed against this is the 4 seed, and yeah, they lost to the lower seed, a 4 seed versus an 8 seed. And then they also destroyed their opponents. As you can see in the wild card, the Buccaneers beat the Eagles 31 to 15 to move on to the divisional rounds because they were so much better. And the same is true for the Baylor Bears. They beat Norfolk State 85 to 49. Everyone predicted that. There's no way that it wasn't going to be like that. So, yes, they're very similar in that regard. And they're also similar because, again, they were both down really big in those games. If you look at this game, remember it was 27 to 3 versus 42 to 29. And I think it was like a higher lead than that at one point, and they had to come back and tie the game. They are also similar in their opponents because looking at North Carolina, looking at their games, at the scores, they're the 8 seed against 9 seed Marquette, 95 to 63. And that's an 8-9 game, which that really should not happen in an 8-9 game, but whatever. That happened. And if you look at the Rams in the wild card round on Monday Night Football, they demolished the Cardinals 34 to 11. And this was a 4 versus 5 game. So their opponents also demolished the last team that they played. And they were both 1 seed higher. And that gets me thinking, since the Rams won the Super Bowl against the Bengals, both of those were 4 seeds. Will North Carolina play TCU or Creighton or something like that, and they win? We don't know. We'll just have to see. But yeah, that's my explanation of how Baylor and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are the exact same team.